Hey guys, this is Cam, Oregon Knife Guy, and it's been a while, so I figured I'd do a little bit of a channel update. Um, Here's a bunch of the stuff I've gotten since I put in the last video, and I'm gonna go through them one at a time here. So, I hope you enjoy. Alright, I'm gonna start off here with all black PM2. I know everybody's seen this knife. Come on, focus. I know everybody's seen this knife before, but it's the first one I've had. I have the PM3 or the Paramilitary 3, but needed this one for the collection. My wife got me this for Christmas this year. So far I love it. I know a lot of people like the Para 3 as a good EDC knife. They think this is too small or whatever, or too big, but this knife fits my hand perfect. I like it a lot better than the Para 3, and I think it looks a lot better. So, standard Para 3, all black, S30V. So far, been a great knife. Next up is a Tucson. It's a front flipper. Think it's the 284 or something. Man, now that I'm right in the middle of it, I don't remember the number. It is it's a nice knife so far. It came with bright orange scales. I dyed them. This is actually a graphite color is what I dyed them. I know this knife's kind of dirty. Let's see what I got here. Where's one of my hanks? There we go. Still see some on it. Let's see. The Wong design. Like I said, it's a front flipper. It's my first front flipper. It's a little awkward for me. It kind of pinches me back here when I... But those thumb studs... Check out that knurling on the thumb studs here. Let's see if I can... Those thumb studs are amazing. For the middle finger flick, you can just put your finger right on top of it and just barely push. And it snaps out like a dream. I mean, it's a bitchin' knife. Love it. Next up, it's a Kershaw Emerson CQ6. And I grabbed this just from the local Buy Mart. I was kind of curious. I've never had an Emerson before. It's their cheaper steel variant. I don't know, the wave feature is interesting. It's my first experience with it. Handle's pretty grippy. It's a steel frame lock. And I don't know, it is what it is. It's a cheapo. It's alright. What I don't like about it is it's way off-centered. So off-centered that it rubs this side. And I've taken it apart and tried to adjust it several times. I cannot get it to center. I don't know why. I mean, I've loosened all these screws and adjusted it and pinned it and retightened it, and it just stays hugging that side. So that's all we got to say about that. Next up, I'm going to do a few Rough Riders. I'm collecting the Classic Carbon series, and so I had to get the large Stockman. I live on the Oregon coast, and so I did a video on bluing blades. I blew all my blades to try to protect them. Large Stockman seems like a good knife so far. Well built. I mean, it's not perfectly flush and smooth back here, but there's no gaps that I can find. Next, a Muskrat. Same series, the Classic Carbon. Just needed it to complete the collection. Grab this Black Widow. It's a medium toothpick. And I love this knife, honestly. It's nice looking, feels good. The handles feel nice. It's a all around. It's not perfectly centered, but it's a good knife. Sow belly. It's in the Black Bone Titanium series. Just got this one because I didn't have any sow bellies, and Stockmans are pretty high on my list of favorite patterns. So far it's good. It's a little thick compared to a lot of the Stockmans I have, but Rough Riders do that, you know. It's got the regular clip, sheep's foot and spay. Good knife. I like collecting Rough Riders. Easy on the pocket. And I can get bunches of them. Moving on. Alright, here's a couple of case knives. I've always wanted one of these Seahorse Whittlers. I just thought they were too expensive for something I probably won't carry very often. I found this one in the black synthetic. Gosh, that is a fingerprint magnet. Here, let me clean those off real quick. Like the finishes on the blades. Their mirror polish is nice. All around, so far, this is a good knife. No real gaps to speak of. Everything falls nice and center. There's a little gap down the center, I guess. Good knives. Pocket Hunter. I got the 2-blade variety. I am collecting the vault patterns as they come out. And I've stuck to this Caribbean Blue Bone. I guess I've only been collecting the vault pattern for 2 years, so I have this one and the Barlow. I would like to find a doctor's knife in the same handle material, but we'll see how that works out for me. This has been my 5th pocket knife every day since I got it. This is also, most of this stuff came with, I got a bunch of gift cards for Christmas. And this is what I used them on. So there's the case. Moving on. Here's just some miscellaneous stuff. This is a cheap Frost Cutlery copperhead. I've never had a copperhead, so just wanted to try the pattern out. It was cheap, decent knife, really, pretty well made. You can see it's got some gaps, but it's not a bad knife. It don't bother me. And then the Rough Rider knife pick. I kind of thought when I got this that I'd use it for a little pry tool. And so far, mostly I've used it to adjust scopes. It's nice though. Well made, nice bone. Been good. Next up, you've all seen this. This is the one-arm razor by Rough Rider Reserve. Out of the Rough Rider Reserve knives that I've seen, this is the only one that interests me. Here, I'll get this out of the way. The other ones are big, and this one's not a small knife by any stretch. I mean, it's 7 inches overall. Got a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, but it's nice and thin. It's nice and pocketable. This has been a good knife. This is one I've taken and used. I do like it. It's not going to stay just in the collection. I will use it. And like I said, I haven't had any of the other Rough Rider Reserve knives from what I've seen. I mean, the Whittler's my favorite pattern, but that big giant lumberjack Whittler, or whatever you want to call it, is way too big to carry. I also like canoes, but that kayak was just too fat, and that barback has, I mean, no interest to me. It looks like the most uncomfortable knife I've ever seen. But that's my Rough Rider Reserve. It's a good knife. Next up are some Victorinox knives. You can see this one's missing its tweezers. This was a gift from my mother-in-law. The knife she took backpacking. I'm not sure of the model name of this. It has the parcel hook. I believe this is the Climber. It's got the scissors, the blade, the standard cap lifter screwdriver and can opener. And then on the back it's got the corkscrew and I think they call that a parcel hook. It's a good knife. And this one is the Explorer. And this I found at the pawn shop for like 20 bucks. Couldn't pass it up. It's got the standard tools, then it's got a magnifying glass. Probably its best feature, an end Phillips that goes from the end. Very handy. Just got a corkscrew and all on the back. And then this one also has the scissors and a regular blade. Oh, it looks like I'm missing something. It's also got a pin blade on the back. Good knife. I've carried this quite a bit since I got it. Moving on. And here we go. My favorite of the bunch. Well, let's start with this, get this out of the way. This is one of those knife slips from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, made by Rough Rider. I added this little lanyard. I keep this usually in my back left pocket, and I use that lanyard to tug her out. Haven't cut anything with this knife, but I definitely pull it out and play with it a lot. This is the GEC Titty-Ute Stockyard Whittler. It's got that sweet clip point blade. This is the burnt sienna jigged bone. Main blade is a clip, and it's got a long, nice sheep's foot, and an awl for the back, or leather punch, or reamer, or whatever you want to call it. And this is the thinnest reamer and awl I've ever seen on a knife. Nice and sharp. Love this knife. I have been interested in this pattern since I first started seeing GECs. This is just what you expect. That looks like a gap right there, but it's not really. This is just gorgeous. You can't feel the seams. It is a 3-spring Whittler. Whittlers are my favorite pattern. Oh, and speaking of Whittlers, I missed one. So I'm just going to add this in to the GECs. This is a Marbles. It's their black stag bone Whittler, Congress Whittler. And this knife, honestly, is amazing. If it had better than 440A steel, this would be one of my favorite knives. I carry this all the time. It's nice in the pocket. It's nice snap. Nice looking spear master blade. It is a legitimate split back. Just a really good knife by Marbles. So there's a quick little overview on little channel update. That's all the stuff I've acquired since my last video. What do you guys think? I know this GEC, the GECs are hard to find. You know, this knife, I found this on the All About Pocket Knives forum in their store section, and I paid $140 for it, which I think is reasonable considering, I mean, the very right after, and then you go back on the website and check, and they've already jumped to 160, 180. I would really like to get one of the Tom's Choice Barlows, but I did not make it in any of the lotteries or anything. Secondary market prices for those, anyway, not something I'm willing to pay for. But, so it is what it is. But yeah, this is my update. This is what I got so far. I'm happy with most of it. And yeah, this is Cam from Oregon. I'm out.